So welcome back everyone, and an overwhelming amount of you wanted to have a budget skincare makeup breakdown. I totally appreciate that, and I've selected a few of my go-to products, ones that I always have, go back to and continually recommend, and a few new things as well. And then if you love this style, then I can break it down and do some more affordable makeup and skincare ones going forward, if that's what you like. But yes, there's such an array of wonderful products in the market at great prices. So I just thought I would start with this one. Right, let's get into skincare. I've got three products that I absolutely love. And if we're talking about skincare and addressing different skincare needs, for me, it has to be Dermatica. Now, if you're new to my channel, I have recommended Dermatica for probably over 3 years. I actually used it independently. I found the company independently for my son's skin. It made a huge difference for his skin. I've then worked with Dermatica subsequently after that because it is really fantastic. And I recommend Dermatica for someone who is going through skin turmoil, I like to say it, where your situation is you are fed up with dry skin, you are fed up with your skin looking dehydrated and fine lines are appearing, or you have rosacea, or you have acne. It doesn't matter how old you are, how young you are. It's about you struggling to find over-the-counter products that actually make a difference. We can all go and buy a moisturiser, but our skin has different needs, and sometimes you need an expert. So the dermatology experts at Dermatica will look at photographs of your skin. You go online, you fill in a form, you take the photographs, and your skin will be analysed, and they will be able to prescribe you personalised skincare, high-performing ingredients that basically don't exist over the counter. And they'll look after your skin. So, I mean, it's a no-brainer and it's super affordable. So I've experienced the results personally on my skin. It's much, much smoother than it was before. So yes, highly recommend. Now, because we've been partners for such a long time, they've now offered me a code, Caroline50, for 50% off the next 3 months. All the T's and C's, terms and conditions are all linked below. And yeah, if you are in that, it's such an annoying thing, isn't it? If you're in that moment just like, oh, I keep wasting money, I'm just not getting anywhere, then get an expert to analyse your skin and get the right ingredients for your skin issues. Moving on to Featherlight. This is Beauty Pie's SPF 50. Yet to put mine on. Wanted to show you how easy it is. Well, obviously it's easy. Pleasurable, should I say. First of all, it's pleasurable because I love the packaging. It's nice and skinny. How many mils is it? 50 mil. So great for travelling. But I like it. I need to probably put a little bit more on than that, even though it's cloudy here. Always chuck it on before I leave the house. It's like a very lightweight moisturiser. There's no cast, there's no flashback, there's no heaviness, there's no stickiness. It's a wonderful formula for an SPF 50 that gives me coverage and confidence that I need. I just keep going back to this. I just really, really love it. That's why I'm recommending it. The next one in terms of skincare is Lanolips 101. I just love this. So this is the ointment that you can use everywhere, but with Lanolips, because it is the texture is so lovely, you can use it on cuticles, elbows, anything that's dry. This one is peach, and it's not a great thing to have a lip balm that you absolutely love to munch on, but it is quite pleasurable and it is quite fun. This is just such a nice texture. I love a lip balm, and all the ones I recommend are like this, where it's kind of like heavy duty hydration, but it's not too slippery and slimy. I like it to stay put. I don't like it to be too gloss-like. I like it to be super, super hydrating. So you can put it in your brows, you can put it dry skin around your nose, if you had a little bit of a cold. It's wherever you need it. And again, it's just, all of these actually are just perfect for the makeup bag. Just chuck them in and have all your stuff together. Well, obviously you wouldn't put Dermatica in your makeup bag, you'd use that in the evenings, but you know what I mean. It's all nice and tight and compact, so it's not too fussy. Not fussy, but effective. Okay, so I'm going to go in, and I've tried a lot, but I'm going to go in with the Skin Silk Luminizing Foundation for my favourite budget affordable skincare range. I'm going to go in with the F6. Now I'm going to apply this with my finger just to sort of show you the level of coverage that this gives. Let's take it off my mole, not very attractive. It's a serum. Obviously I love that because I have dry skin. I'm avoiding that eye area because I'll save that for something a little bit lighter. I love the coverage, it's enough. It covers everything, but it's still quite light and it's still got a little bit of hydration. That's the serum inside. So let me just buff this out on the edges, buffing it into itself just so that obviously it doesn't look like a layer on top of my skin. Just giving it a nice little swirl into the skin with a nice firm brush. My brushes. Just allows the product to connect with the skin. Just leaving the eye area but just taking it a little bit over the lid. I mean, you can't say that applying a foundation is difficult. I mean, it is exactly what it says on the box. It gets a great luminous serum foundation, Skin Silk. I think it's absolutely wonderful. F6 is probably the lightest shade that I would use on me, but it looks sort of quite dark. So be aware that it sort of comes up a little bit lighter than it looks in the packaging. I think the packaging makes the product inside look a little bit warmer than it is. So as a gauge, I'm an F6, which means I do lovely shades for very pale skin. So pulling that round, just really getting it on. I like the sort of scruffy application to makeup, if you know what I mean. Get it on, don't over fuss, just get the product on and then do your finishing touches. And again, it's just about buffing in circular motions. This brush, the number 2, is firm, but it's also beautifully graduated. So you can get into all the nooks and crannies and it doesn't leave too much, doesn't build up, and blends really easily into the skin. Lovely. The wear on this is also really good. It doesn't fade after a couple of hours. Had a nice sort of longevity of wear with this base, and it comes in so many different colours. Well, I can't obviously recommend a concealer enough than the Maybelline Eraser. And I've spoken to lots of people about this, and this is the fun part. It's like delete, 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 but more than just being silly in applying the concealer, it actually does such a great job at adhering to the skin. Just going to press it in and lifting the dark areas of our faces around this area, but then also lasting throughout the day, but not leaving the skin looking dehydrated or parched, which if you use a concealer that is too drying or doesn't have enough sort of hyaluronic or serum or moisture content in it, it can shrink the skin and make the skin just appear a little bit older. You can obviously add a little bit of hyaluronic to that. But this is just great. Does exactly what it says on the tin. Now, I've been teaching people how to apply makeup just recently, and what I've noticed is that they get quite nervous when we get to this stage. It's really attractive, right? But what I say to them is that we have to knock back the skin and delete all the features and tones to then bring them back out in the right place. So bear with me, I will return to resemble a human being very soon. Right, that's that. I'm going to set now with, guess what the favourite powder is? One Powder Wonder. Now, I did a powder 101. It wasn't really like, I mean, it was obviously the favourites that I had. It wasn't like the ones, sorry, it was obviously my favourite ones, but it was trying to pick lots of different ones that did different jobs. So yes, I was like, what about One Powder Wonder? I was like, well, yes, but I recommended the By Terry instead. But yeah, One Powder Wonder is probably, no, it's not probably, it is the best translucent powder for minimising shine. Now, as you can see, it's completely translucent. It works on all skin types and tones. But it hasn't got any pigment in. So similar to that. So that's why. So One Powder Wonder, absolutely brilliant. Very, very soft. And I've had this. They've changed the packaging now. That's how long I've had it. I mean, it just doesn't go down. Great for when you're, not that many of you are, but maybe if you are filming, I was going to say like makeup artists working under hot lights, that's why I'm saying not many of you are, but many of you might be filming for Zooms and stuff, just to knock back that shine around that centre panel. Now I've kind of blanked out my skin because I wanted to show you, I always do kind of quite shiny looks, and I'll bring the shine in a minute. But I wanted to show you the Makeup Academy blush. Now I've used this shade before in a slightly more pinky tone, but as we are in this sort of time of year, I just think this is such a lovely shade. It's called Rose Tea. I had much more of a sort of peachy one before, but I'm going to use a smaller brush now so I can just apply it to my cheek, because I'm sort of aware that I often apply colours that are sort of quite sheeny and shiny and creamy, because I love to use lots of cream eyeshadows and creams and those sort of textures when I'm at work, which sort of is the same for my own face. But I thought we'd just change it up, and because these are amazing, they're like £3, and it's such a lovely shade. If you've got redness in your face, if you want to create a look that is just kind of sort of more soft and nudie, I've placed it over the One Powder Wonder, and you place the colour in the middle of your cheek. Just blend out, just filling in that space. Just doing a little bit in the socket with the end of the brush. Very, very softly. And then always just sort of feathering around the edges of your blush. So you want to get the pigment in the centre here, keeping that space around your eye nice and clear. And how lovely is that? Just so subtle and so warm. It's not a bronzer, it's not too peachy, it's just really lush. Just going over with a softer brush, a little bit of powder. Isn't that lovely? Isn't it lovely? Again, so we're taking on the fullness of our cheek, circular motions, just to place that pigment, and then you want to disperse the pigment by just taking the brush really softly. It's a lovely small blusher brush. Your blusher brush shouldn't be any bigger than this. Your blusher exists in a very small part of your face. I've got a big face. Some of my clients' blusher is, that's it, and then I blend it out. The smaller the flake, the smaller your face and your features, the smaller the brush that you actually need. That's why I developed those brushes, to all be on the smaller side, to help people place their makeup in smaller areas. Honestly, it makes such a difference. And I think just having those tools, as you've all said, and kind of like decluttering your makeup bag and just having the correct shaped tools to apply makeup has made all the difference. So nice. Little bit just over the top of my nose just to break that up. And again, just back in with that. Even that in itself is just so soft and subtle. It's so pretty, right? Matte powder. See? I love the matte as much as I love the glosses. Right. Elf does the best eyebrow fix. And this, I think I used it a couple of weeks ago, didn't I? It's sort of a dupe for Refi, I would say. Now, a lot of product comes off, so I'm just taking that off there. And I will take the cream fix just off on my hand and then place it on top. Now, this is one that goes slightly, is white and then it dries. So you can see it going on. But what I love about this is I'm going to place it up, 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 up. And then it's got two brushes either side. So you can use the dense brushes just to kind of glide that extra product through, and then you flatten with the comb. Flatten using the side of the comb so you almost kind of get that laminated effect. Great. A real difference. On the other side, almost do this, backwards and forwards, right? You want to get the product evenly into the brow and then brush through with the clean side. Always keep this clean. So just rub the product off after you've used it and then lay it down with the comb. So you're pushing your eyebrows sort of onto your skin, which helps with the lift and shape. Okay, there we are, back with it. Lovely, very nice. Okay, right, for the eye look, I've got Scandalized 005, which is the brilliant off-white pencil, which is so soft. It's a little bit warmer than the Victoria Beckham that I love. This is just as soft. And you know, if you use a kajal inside your eyes to brighten, sometimes they can be a little bit too white and a bit fake looking, and they sort of distract from the beauty, colour, tone of your actual eye, whereas this doesn't. It's just brilliant. 005 Scandalized, 24 hours. I mean, that's a push, but you know what I mean. Now, for the excitement of the show today, we've got Fine as Fleck Glitter Eyeshadow by e.l.f. Now, I don't know how new this is. It might not be new at all. It's like a greeny grey brown. First of all, I love this Perspex packaging. Looks and feels really premium, right? I've just really enjoyed wearing this. It's a little bit like the Dior eyeshadow, which has so many different tones in it. And this has a warm undertone and a cool undertone. So I can see greens, I can see blues, I can see greys. So you want to take the number 8 and you want to press that into there. Push that all the way down. And put it on to just the lid. Oh, it's such an intriguing colour. Okay, I want to do a second coat and really make sure that when you open the eye, you see that eyeshadow wedged against the eyelashes. Okay. Then you want to take the 09. Now you want to take the 09 because this has got the beveled tip. Take the beveled tip and just twizzle it into the pigment. Then place that in the centre and go backwards and forwards, and then very slowly lift it. Now don't go too far out because you will drag your eye down. What you want to do is break up that pigment and tone so you get almost like a secondary shade that pushes the eye back, and look at what a remarkable difference it makes. And this is why I really liked this finish, because I've sort of almost got like a socket tone and a different tone on my lid where it's compact and applied twice. I mean, what's not to love? Okay, let's do that on the other side and match her up. So almost push, push, push. That will help that the powder doesn't flick. Push, push, push. Double layer, blending in. Really throws that socket back. Twist the product into the tip of the brush. Start small, backwards, forwards, backwards, forwards, backwards, forwards, just literally pushing it into the socket, looking towards the mirror. And then as the product gets less, you can then stretch it out and then lift it up to get that very, very soft finish. Now I'm just going to keep the colour on top. I'm not going to take it down below. It's blended out really nicely. And I'm just going to go in with a lick of mascara to finish off. Now I have gone with Panorama L'Oreal Volume Million Lashes, just because I want to have a little bit more drama. And this really does give me the drama. The Maybelline one that I've been using non-stop is a little bit more natural and soft, but for this look I wanted to recommend this mascara. I love the way that the sort of conical brush just makes it really easy to almost lay the mascara wand at the base of your lashes. You almost want to feel the scratchiness in the sort of gentlest of ways of the brush. That's how close it should be to your eyelashes, not just the tips. We're not just tickling the tips of our eyelashes, we're going right to the base and pulling up. So blinky the cow, blinkety blinkety blink. Get that product on. I can feel that it's now dropping a little bit. So push a little bit more product onto there. And just wait for that magic to happen with the second coat. Yeah. Bring these little lashes in. In. Okay. Let me just tidy that up. Make sure there's no little bits. Placing the One Powder Wonder just over the top of my lip as well makes it easier for me to apply the lippy. There we go, she's coming together. Now, something new. This was sent to me from L'Oreal. It's called Nude Intense. It's from their Colour Riche collection. Now, I don't think I've used a Colour Riche lipstick since I had a contract with them back in yeah, back way back. It's really beautiful. Look at that. Look at the moulding on the lipstick. It feels and looks really premium. Oh, sorry. That's my mum. Mum Mob. She'll have to wait until later. Normally I'd put it to silent. But anyway, I'm in the flow now and I want to finish the look. 570 this colour. I have been really enjoying the texture. And this fits and it sort of grips and snugs your lips. It's a really nice moulding. I'm loving these kind of like more browny tones at this current time. So push, push, push. Push the pigment well into your lips. And they're super hydrated, my lips. That's going to blend well. And I did it like a geisha style in the middle. And then I'm going to use a ring finger just to push it and blur it into my lips. A different way of applying. But the colour is too solid and too dark and a little bit austere, just straight from the bullet. But this is how I've been loving wearing it, and kind of just feels natural and amplifies my lip shape without being too much. Try this little tip with your ring finger and see how it works. I think it's a really nice way of making your lips look full but really natural at the same time. Again, like anything with makeup, with any kind of piece of art, with any painting that you're doing, it just takes a moment, doesn't it? And then it sort of settles in. Love, 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 love. I could also put a little bit on my cheeks, but I'm going to wait because I wanted to recommend highly all the e.l.f. Halo Glows that come in different tones. So it's not just like a highlighter that's like a sort of in between a gold and a silver, which I like for my particular skin tone. But they've got a contour one, which is a really nice contour. They've got one that's called Candlelight, one more peachy, and True Blush. So let me go for Candlelight. Comes in a very sort of like mini Charlotte Tilbury-esque packaging. And I'm just going to do little twirlies. Just check I've got nothing on my hand. Interestingly, it's sat really beautifully over the powder. Hasn't pulled the powder up, hasn't caused a streak, but just putting that extra bit of warmth at the top of my cheeks really kind of lifted my face. So these are just amazing. Really lovely, lightweight formulas. And again, they get my seal of approval because the radiance stays. You still get that lovely dimension to your skin. After you've applied it, it doesn't dissolve. Now I'm thinking that I might just need a little bit, not of a lip line, but I might take my Baby Bud, my #1, and place that, the colour, again, all these brushes are so versatile. This side of my lip isn't as full as the other side, so it might need just a little bit of help. And just soften it slightly, yeah. Lovely. Right, there we go. There are my personal, affordable recommendations that I absolutely love. And I hope you love them too. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you next week. And thank you for all your comments. I love and read every single one. Bye for now.